Hello, this is Alberto speaking to you from the future. Before you listen to this episode of Show Us Your Basement, the Halloween Trilogy, just wanted to give you a little heads up. The audio of this episode is not the greatest. We had to record in a different location, not one that we really had any control over, audio stuff like that. So if you are going to listen to this episode, just kind of a warning, audio is not going to be the greatest, but I still think it's a fun episode. I really had fun doing this one, so yeah, just a little heads up, nothing too crazy. Hope you guys enjoy this one. So without further ado, here's the Halloween Trilogy episode.
So what the fuck are we talking about today? What is the discussion, guys?
Oh, this guy right here. All right. Let me start it off here, okay? I want to consider this one of the best trilogies out there. Not like one we had before that didn't make the cut.
Which one? Oh, yeah, that's right. No,
Get to it, bud. What the fuck are we talking about again?
We're going to talk about Halloween 2018's Trilogy.
Oh my god, this was your fucking idea?
This is my idea, Josh. We're not talking about
Christ.
Alien. We're not talking about Scream. We're talking about one of the OGs here.
That's an OG?
Yeah.
You mean we're not talking about the original Halloween?
Nope.
78?
No, we already did that. And we know who won.
Hey,
So
let's not... Too much bias.
Still sensitive? Or
no, it's just, I don't...
No,
we
I
all
think
know
that
who really won that. But fuck, man. Out of all the trilogies you had to pick, it had to be fucking 2018's...
That's why I said when you brought up Spider-Man.
No.
And we're not gonna. No,
Those are both words.
We're not gonna. We're not gonna.
We
bring
don't
it
even
up.
talk about that. The fuck, man.
It's been done. No one's ever gonna listen to it. But this time we are gonna do a trilogy.
Yes.
That was literally thrown in the basement.
It was yeah. That's right. Locked away. Threw away the key
Hey, you still have it?
somewhere, but the fans will never listen to it.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, they don't want to listen to that shit.
Yeah, we don't need to dig up all the exhausting shit.
yeah. So let's get into it.
Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No. Where do you get off?
Just a couple of people who totally got off, bro.
Hey, show us your basement.
What? No.
Welcome to Show Us Your Basement. I am Alberto, and I'm joined by my three other hosts, Edgar,
Hey.
Eric, and then Josh.
Good
the
evening.
last one. So
Hello.
thank you for joining us for another episode. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social links, and comment down below. Please give us suggestions for things you want us to watch. We'll give you a shout out on the podcast. We'll let you know, hey, this is so and so's recommendation, and we'll rank it because we want to make sure that you guys participate and are a part of the show. So thank you once again, and we have a pretty good one on our hands. I think we're all pretty excited. Edgar's pretty excited
I'm excited.
to do this one. It is the David Gordon Green trilogy, the requel trilogy, as it were.
Oh, it's a requel.
It's a requel.
Okay.
It's a remake sequel, and this is the first of its kind before it started to spawn a whole bunch of different slasher requels. And
I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween.
that was not part of the assignment. Why did you do that?
Fuck.
Why did you watch Rob Zombie's Halloween?
You're saying this is the first requel?
Yeah. Wait, hold on. What do you mean?
How many times has this series been remade?
What?
I lost track.
Halloween?
It feels like this has been a requel
This is like
going
the
on
sixth.
for a while.
This is
With
like the
Halloween.
sixth time that we're rebooting it.
You just said
Edgar,
watch.
you know.
You just said watch the remakes, guys.
Yeah, Edgar, we need you to help us out. This is
Okay.
confusing us, and
All
we don't
right.
understand.
All right. This
Go
one follows up 1978's original classic Halloween.
Yes.
So I would say, 40 years it takes place? Maybe
Yep.
something like that.
Before you get too deep into it, I got it right here, so don't you worry about it. We're gonna go through each one of these films. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna talk about it, what our thoughts are on it, and then we're gonna talk about it as a whole, as a trilogy, and where we rank it personally on our tier list.
Yes.
For those who are uninitiated, this is how it goes. We have Show Us Your Greatness, which is pretty self-explanatory. That's great. That's you can't go any higher than that. Good is a step below that. Mid, pretty mediocre, and then basement. We threw that shit in the basement. It's
The basement's the absolute worst.
It's the absolute worst, exactly. So that's what the tiers are, and we're going to rank it personally towards the end. So let's get into it. Is everyone ready to get into the David Gordon Green trilogy?
I think I can fake it.
Oh,
Let's
I'm
go.
ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been ready.
All right.
I'm just going to talk about Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah.
Go ahead, guys.
You're like on
Requel.
another fucking plane of existence.
Yeah,
Josh. I don't know what the fuck's going
Some
on.
specifics, guys.
So-
you know.
Let's start with the first one. Halloween 2018, written. All these actually, well, not all of them. The later series are written by different people, but David Gordon Green, Danny McBride wrote Halloween 2018. A direct sequel to John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978, ignoring all other sequels and reboots,
Yes.
including Rob Zombie, Josh. So, the premise: 40 years after the original massacre, Michael Myers escapes during a transfer and returns to Haddonfield. Laurie Strode, now a survivalist suffering from PTSD, prepares for his return. Guys, this was the assignment to watch all three. We're talking about 2018 right now. What do you guys think? Eddie, you want to kick it off?
I guess I'll go first.
I think you should go first.
Yeah.
Get to it.
This was probably a good 6 hours of time spent watching these films.
Okay.
You need to start.
I gotta start. Okay.
Yeah. What do you
What
think?
was the question? Sorry.
What are your thoughts?
Oh, the
2018.
thoughts.
Let's talk about 2018.
To me, Howard, it's at a point where slashers weren't making a comeback, and there was not a genre that wasn't touched. It revived that genre by 2018's here. Then Scream, then Texas Chainsaw Massacre followed. Kind of followed the same formula in a way.
Yeah.
And it brought up it brought a true gritty tone to this requel. You want to say it?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we got Laurie Strode suffering from PTSD. Like they put new lore to Michael's backstory. Like he said in the beginning, the doctor says he can speak, he just doesn't want to.
Yeah, little stuff like
Little
that.
stuff like that. Like it still continues from the last 1978's Halloween, where the mask has the hole in his neck, his eyes missed. So it's like it continues from where it left off, basically.
Yeah, the continuity.
Yeah. And it's nice that it brings back most of the cast from that original movie too. We got John Carpenter, being producer and composer.
Yeah, and his son too.
And his son. Jamie Lee Curtis came back too. Nick Castle did some of the scenes, the original Michael Myers.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was to bring those original people back to this one had to be like they were sold by the screenplay, the story that David Gordon Green and Daniel McBride brought up. So.
Yeah.
Danny McBride, you said?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you think a paycheck had anything to do with him setting up?
Oh no, this was all personal for him.
Okay.
Yeah, Danny McBride jumped onto this project. He was like a very
I'm talking about
unlikely.
Jamie Lee Curtis and...
Oh, you're talking about like
I'm
the
talking
other
about the cast.
The cast.
Because he just made a comment about they brought them all back, which suggested that they were really on board with the script and that.
I think so. If you listen to their commentary or any interviews they made, they seem genuine about coming back to the series again.
Or they're playing the game. Let's just be honest. But I would also challenge you, and I would also say that I set the bar for for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream. I agree with that, but let's be honest, this movie was kind of riding the coattails of previous movies that kind of continued and kind of requel in its sense as well, like The Force Awakens, Creed, right? Those movies actually continued. Yes, they didn't reboot or they were requels, but they were actually repeats of A New Hope. They were also a repeat of Rocky, and Halloween would actually follow that same element as well, in my opinion.
You bring up a good point with Creed and what was the other one? Star Wars?
Force Awakens, yep.
Yeah, no, those are like the ones that came out. Those are the original requels before.
Yep.
But I guess in terms of the horror genre, this is the first one to bring it back. For the slasher genre.
I will say, and I agree with you, Edgar, is that the 2018, what I did appreciate about it is it was this movie was made by fans, people who loved the original 1978's Halloween, who wanted to add to it, who wanted to continue it. For example, John Carpenter was never a fan of Laurie Strode being the sister of Michael Myers, right? And they love and respect what John Carpenter did, and they continued that with this movie.
Wait, okay, rewind that, because I was wondering the same thing, because it's been a while. She was the sister, right?
She was. She
in
finds
the
out
original
Halloween's 2.
Okay, in Halloween 2. Yeah. So they erased that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I did have a little confusion.
So that's why they kind of like put it in the movie, like when her daughter, granddaughter was talking about it.
Yeah, what I liked about the movie is like the first 15-20 minutes, Danny McBride and David Gordon Green are like, we're gonna take the reins on this one. It's very easy for like a slasher movie of this type, like a remake sequel that kind of draws in within the lines. They don't really go out that much, and they don't like take a new spin on it. David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, what they did was they're like, we're cutting out the fucking whole thing about him like being a sibling or a brother to fucking Laurie Strode. He can talk, but he chooses not to. Like, just little things like that are like, we're confident in what we know about the material, and we're gonna push it forward.
I love that they grounded this one too. There was no supernatural elements into it. He can talk, right? He's just a man. He's been in prison for 40 years, or in a psych ward, for 40 years. He escapes, and now he's continuing what he's doing, right? That's what I felt from this movie, and what I appreciated with it. I really appreciate what they did with Laurie, with the PTSD, to your point. Continuing it, not a happy family, right? As she's training her daughter to go through the same thing as well. Extremely fucked up.
It's like familial like trauma, that like just get passed on to you without even really like forced on you, that kind of thing.
And the build-up, I think, with the relationship between the two, Michael Myers and Laurie in this one, were so fucking good. When she sets him up to go back to her, and then fucking just owns him in the house, right?
Yep.
I love that. And then it gives you little elements too of characters who were in the previous Halloween movie too. Does it not?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it pays little homages here and there that I feel like a true fan can really pick up on it right away. Eric, you didn't watch these movies prior to this episode, right?
No, this is the first time that I've watched the movies. And by the way, we do have the movie playing on our TV here to kind of give us like kind of refreshers, and we're playing the first one. That's what's going to stay on the screen. So there might be a moment where one of us is speaking to the screen, so it might sound a little weird. I want to start what I think is maybe most impressive about this movie. It had a $10 million budget, and it grossed $259 million worldwide. The largest opening of a Halloween movie ever.
It surpassed Scream also, too.
Yeah, I mean, it is 2025. So I don't know what movie. I don't know what ticket prices were in 1978, but definitely impressive on that front. Okay, so very impressed with that. And by the way, this was Blumhouse's largest ever. Just to throw that out there.
Yeah. This put Blumhouse on the map too.
Yeah, I think it put Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Or Blumhouse. Excuse me, Blumhouse Productions. I didn't mean to mispronounce your name, but this was their largest worldwide in terms of the revenue of a film that they released. So that's incredibly impressive. What I want to know a little bit more is I'm a little bit torn because early in the movie they do something ballsy, and I don't mind when writers and directors do ballsy things. The unmasking, having a face to Michael Myers. I don't know how I felt about that because he's a character that's been around now for 40 years. I would say he's probably unanimously, outside of Jason, probably the most recognizable villain in terms of like horror slashers. Seeing him in the only film out of, there's a lot of them, because the original saga, I believe, was 6 films long. Like the original one from Halloween to the Curse of Michael Myers, I believe, was 6 films, right? And then even the ones the requels before it, none of them ever really unmasked. Maybe a little bit in Rob Zombie, but that was extremely minimal. Yeah. This one was a little bit more exposed, and I don't know how I feel about that because he's been such a polarizing figure with that mask.
Where do you lean? Are you like, is it negative for you? Is it a positive for you? Or
it was a very hard adjustment. Like I said, I'm good with ballsy moves like this. I don't think I liked it though.
So you didn't like
the mystery of him hiding behind that mask. You know, what does he look like? You know, you used to always think that, but he's just so identifiable with this mask. And then they remove the mask for a little bit of it, and I just see like this old man. And yeah, that's accurate because it's 40 years later, but. And you don't really see like his face, a direct shot of it, but you see enough on the side where you're like, okay, he has like a look. It didn't feel intimidating to me.
To me, honestly, it didn't bother me as much because you kind of get as much of his face as you do in 1978, and as long as 1978. It's probably like maybe a total of maybe like 10 seconds, and that's it. And I would even say that the one in 1978, like he looked even less intimidating. And that still didn't bother me as well, you know. I didn't find it that much of a problem for me because everything else, preceding that, still built up the myth of the boogeyman and the shape. You know,
it robbed a little bit of the intimidation for me. That's it. I think it robbed a little bit.
I actually see where you're coming from because they kind of use that as an excuse throughout the entire trilogy. Not even in the first one. It's like, oh, he's on me. I'm gonna mess with his face. You know, his mask. You know, and obviously that was a big thing in 1978's Halloween. It's how like Laurie got away when they were upstairs. But it's like in every scene, if you want to get away, just touch the mask.
Right, and I understand it in this day and age.
Multiple times.
It's a little more practical. I think people think in their minds it's a little more practical. Like, I'm going to rip that mask off if this is really happening to me in real life. So that part I understand. Maybe it's more trying to cater to like a more practical crowd because it is a totally different era and age of horror, and people watching it, it's a lot different.
If you're choking a bitch and someone fucks up your mask, you're still going to continue to choke a bitch. I'm just like, that's how I look at it, right? Well, it's not going to like phase me to like take my, like, oh, I got to fix my mask.
Well, but by the way,
that's just my point.
This happens early in the film, right? And I guess I'll ask you guys, Edgar, this is like a big film for you. You speak very highly of this, okay? I thought it was a little interesting because this is early in the movie. This is like right in the beginning. He escapes, right? Which we kind of knew that was going to happen. Did you want to talk about the escape? Because he finds this mask like in the trunk of a car, like he knew it was there. Do you know what do you know what scene I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he knew they had his mask in the trunk, you know?
Well, he did show him the mask in the beginning, so I guess he probably just knew, like, oh, those are the same guys. They have the mask.
Well, speaking of, he looks like he's following them.
Yeah, he's stalking them too when he escapes.
Which speaks to who he is. He's a stalker.
Yeah.
mean, that
what do
doesn't.
you think?
Hold up, guys. Someone's naked.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Remember, this is going on in the background. This is what I mean by we're speaking
sorry,
to a
guys.
screen. But
Well, for him being unmasked, I feel like it wants to tie into 1978, like what impacted him, and so did Laurie Strode. Like I told you, they only show the face where he got
It's like a
fucked
side
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, his eyes messed up. He has that the needle neck here. It's just like more of a like like Josh said, it's catered to fans and people who love the original. Like we're keeping that there too.
Yeah.
It's more like a what's the word? Like battle scar, basically.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Because I look, me and Edgar, we love the fucking intro of this movie. It is probably as iconic as giving a fucking slasher movie. I
Which
think it's
part?
just as iconic. The intro of the film.
you're talking about when he's standing out in the courtyard.
Yeah.
In his like little square.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really love that intro. When we watched it in the theaters, it gave us fucking goosebumps. And I think it's because there's so much at play here. Again, like I was going back in the beginning, they're really bold in their decision to be like, we're going to take reins of this franchise. John Carpenter, he doesn't show you who the Shape is. You're just seeing little glimpses of him. We're taking the fucking mask off on this one. Right? That's just one part of it. Oh, and then Dr. Sartain says, again, going back to the whole thing that he can speak, but he chooses not to. That sort of thing.
And like
Sorry,
go ahead.
And I know that, he's not as intimidating. For me personally, I see like Michael as like a fucking, like he's just like a huntsman spider. He's just fucking standing there and he's waiting for like someone to just like provoke him, or maybe not. It just depends on who's going to fucking provoke him. And this fucking podcaster shows him the mask, and you can feel that like, oh, he snaps back because he turns a little bit, right? Like he turns to look. That wakes him up. That wakes up that fucking beast again. And then the music starts to like rise and it like crescendos, and then boom, the title card. That's what I took away from it. That was like, oh god damn, that we're in for a fucking treat.
It does
with
have a
this
very
one,
good
you know?
intro with the pumpkins. It's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
It definitely spoke to how you feel in the original. Definitely. I liked that part. I thought that was very good. I thought the intro, bringing back like the original theme, it does give you that sense like this is Halloween, because that is, to your point in an earlier argument we had, or early debate about Halloween and Scream, you really dialed in on that. You guys call it a score, whatever, the intro. So it spoke well to the origins and the roots of this franchise.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good point.
I would also say that I love the history aspect that they have in this movie. These podcasters that are so interested in this massacre that happened 40 years ago, and they have to actually live it, walk in the footsteps, visit Michael Myers, show Michael Myers, interview Laurie, so I do appreciate that.
It's also a way to pull in new viewers also, and it does it in a clever way. Like the podcasters for this first 20 minutes is the audience.
Oh, absolutely.
So you can see what everything that's led up to this moment. So
that's true too,
great.
right? Is if you are a podcaster or a journalist, this is exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
This is investigate, poke the bear, as it were, too.
Yeah,
because they're about to go. They visited Laurie, right? This has already happened. Yeah. So yeah. But Eric, going back to you, because I'm very interested in what your thoughts were on the trilogy. But staying with 2018, what did you think of the kills in this film?
Josh and I had like a little side conversation about this before you guys came over about that. And if you go back and watch the earlier Halloween films, the kills are, as Josh described, they're a little bit more kind of a slow burn, very slasher. It's just slash, slash, slash. And it's, bloody from that regard. It's very violent. This one felt like they went a completely different route and tried to crank up the volume. And with the excessive gore kills, like you see dead bodies where he's like ripped their jaw out and he's smashing their heads in like a pumpkin, and brains are going everywhere. That is definitely outside of what I'm used to seeing from a Halloween movie. It reminds me more of, actually Josh brought this up, I'm going to give Josh credit on this one because he's right. It reminded me more of, and him as well, and I agree, it reminds me more of Friday the 13th and Jason Voorhees, because that movie, those movies since day one, have always been about body dismemberment, cutting heads off, heads rolling, brains all over the place, eyeballs popping out of sockets. That's never really been Halloween's
tone.
That's never been their tone. And so that was very different. That feels more supernatural to me, smashing heads in like a pumpkin, because Jason is clearly I guess I would say more of a supernatural type slasher villain, whereas Michael Myers has always felt kind of like you don't really know, but I don't think you're ever really convinced that he is like a supernatural entity. I think he's just a man, right? Which I think they're trying to do here, but then they decide, well, he's gonna rip jaws out like a wild animal with this immense power, and it feels a little bit like, okay, this is definitely not the feeling of a normal Halloween film. And again, like I said, they went into this with a totally different mentality, but it wasn't like that in the first movie. You know?
Yeah. It was definitely like when you think of a stalker, right? And Michael Myers was definitely the definition of a slow burn, not just as he's like watching his prey, his victim, and then taking his time, but he did it in his kills as well. Whereas this movie, it was just over the top shock factor,
very shock factor.
Yeah. And then I told Eric this straight up. I was like, after the second movie, going into the third, even I was like, I feel like I'm watching a Friday the 13th movie.
He does have that feeling,
because Jason was the one that would run. He would be the one that would kill, stop, like crush heads, chop off, like brutalize people.
So I'm gathering that you weren't a fan of the kills of 2018.
You want to go into kills?
Well, I mean, we're still on 2018.
I'm ready when you are. But
No.
Overall, 2018, I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think it was great. My only question is, and I don't know whether to save this now or if you guys want to just not answer this as of right now, but could they have left it at 2018, I wonder?
Yeah, no, 100%.
And not
I agree
continued
with
it?
that too, yeah.
And I want to bring that up later, so I want you guys to sit on that.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Edgar.
No, that was my original thought when it came out. This is the one and only. I didn't think it was a trilogy until later, like weeks later. It's like, oh shit, okay. Because I even told myself, how the fuck is he going to escape the house?
Yeah, the ending was great,
yeah,
pretty
mysterious.
right?
Yeah.
And she sets it up. He's locked in the basement, right? And then the house is on fire, and then it just ends.
It ends.
Well,
which is to me pretty definitive. When I saw it, I was like, all right, that's it. We're good. We're done.
Yeah, I was good with that.
But
I was good with that.
Eric did make he did say something that kind of alludes to why they did sequels. Is made a lot of fucking money, and I think that
money talks.
Yeah, and I think Danny McBride and Gordon Green were just like, shit, we got to make more now because we're kind of backed up in a corner. They want to see more of this, and I think that's important to note that's kind of where they were coming from. I don't think there was a trilogy planned.
No,
right?
Originally there was, but they were waiting for this to come out and see how well they received, how much money.
Oh, okay.
Then okay. Then
yeah.
That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me because, to be honest with you, like when they went into 2 and 3, I felt like they were just going as they were just doing as they were going along, right? We'll just figure it out. Let's throw it on the wall and see what sticks. So
should we move into kills? Have we said everything we have to say about 2018?
Well,
I haven't heard a lot from Eric here, though.
Well, I look. This I guess it's not really a reboot. It's a re-sequel, as you would call it. I knew watching it that Laurie Strode, because I remember thinking, like, isn't she the sibling, the the sister, and you guys clarified for me that happened in the second Halloween movie made back in, I think, 80
something. Yeah.
But they spend a lot of time in this first one that I thought was interesting. They do spend time building her character more, which I did like. They put a lot into this movie with her spending years of time fortifying her home, preparing that he's going to escape one day, really indoctrinating this behavior into her daughter, and how it kind of pushed them away from each other. So they did spend time with like some personal dynamics of Laurie Strode, how this original event impacted her. Strode. Yeah, Strode.
Come on, man.
Not Stroud.
This
Strode.
isn't William Dafoe.
I was thinking of C.J. Stroud. Stroud Boys, right? So they definitely put a lot of time into building her character and to kind of understand why she is the way she is, why there's this disconnect with her daughter and her granddaughter because of this obsession, this PTSD of the night that happened. And that I like that because it was a traumatizing event, and it's now lived with her entire life post the original Halloween in 1978. So they did spend a lot of time doing that. And so there was some character development that I liked. Thought that was really good, that part of it. I think for me, opening up with this first film, I was a little turned off by the revealing of the face. Not that I'm against revealing of faces, but kind of I don't know. You remember, we're talking about 40 years of this movie with multiple movies, and you've never really seen a lot of that. And all of a sudden, now here we go.
Yeah.
It felt like he wasn't as intimidating. Like, I enjoyed the slow burn kills. I loved the slow burn kills in the original Halloween movies where he would stick someone with a knife, stick him up against the wall.
He does that in this
but
scene
there's this
right
this psychotic moment where he's like staring at him, and he kind of moves his head, and I feel like they really captured the psycho that he really was.
Yeah.
Where in this one, he's just like a brutal, ripping heads off, stomping heads in.
Before we get into kills, because I feel like we really didn't touch the fucking we just barely scratched the surface with it, I think. But like going back to the kills, what I really liked about it is you got to remember this is a guy who was detained and then was held for 40 years. As soon as he escaped, it just like he fucking resumed his video game and he just kept going. Like there's just no rhyme or reason to it. It's like, all right, who's my next victim? Picking up this fucking hammer. Okay, moving on. Picking up this. Like he's just there's no rhyme or reason to it. He doesn't give a fuck about Laurie. He's just on a fucking killing spree.
Yeah.
Like he's just going out to kill people. You know. And a lot of the kills you see in this one, you don't really see how they happen. You just see the aftermath of it. And I kind of find that like, god damn, like this guy is like leaving a wake of destruction behind him. You know?
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I going back again, I enjoyed this one. The kills were brutal in the original. I think they just get worse and worse as it goes. That's my opinion. Because going back to it, I didn't think I was watching a Halloween movie until after kills and going into ends, and then that's when I felt like it was more of like a Friday the 13th.
Wait, there might be some confusion. We are talking about actual Michael Myers kills in the movie while also segueing to the sequel, which is called Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
So it might sound confusing.
No, yeah, we're still
I'm speaking of the killing. That's what we are speaking of in the first film.
In the first film.
In the first film, the killing, and how it was very different than the original film and films that were going on back in the 70s. Very different. So, again, I like the character development with Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode and her fortifying her home as like a fortress, like a Michael Myers-proof fortress. I mean, it was kind of goofy, like...
Oh, I thought it was like clever.
I'm glad that they spent... The point I'm making from my perspective is they spent time building it. It didn't feel like rushed or random. Like they definitely spent time explaining why she was doing this, even though it seemed like a doomsday prepper, which is kind of what it is to her. But
can we all agree that we enjoyed 2018's Halloween? Obviously, Edgar loves it.
Loved it. I loved it.
Loved it.
2018.
You liked it?
It was watchable. It was watchable. I watched it. I mean,
I liked it.
It was.
I appreciated it. I really did. But with that,
let's move into kills. All right, now let's move on to the next film in the trilogy, Halloween Kills. I have it up here. Continuing immediately from 2018, Michael survives the fire and slaughters his way through Haddonfield. A mob led by Tommy Doyle tries to hunt him down. Tommy Doyle being a original character from 1978. This is when we start to see more like a different set of writers come in, right, to write these movies, right, Edgar? Mm-hmm. So let's kind of keep that in mind. These are films that have switching different hands every time we move into another film. So, Kills. What do we get? What do we think of Kills?
Is it fair for me to say that they benched sideline Laurie Strode in the second one?
I mean, she went through a lot in 2018. Makes sense,
Okay.
doesn't it? Fell off a fucking roof of her house, got stabbed, got into a fight with the Shape. I mean, kind of makes sense she would be sidelined for the film.
One thing I did appreciate about this movie too is wasn't that one scene in the past? Wasn't a deleted scene?
What do you mean?
With the cop shooting the other cop?
That was an entirely new
That was a new scene.
That was a new scene for
that was
to
like
contextualize
done really
it.
well.
It was also, if you see it, it looks like it was shot at the time too.
Yeah, especially when they had Dr. Loomis screaming from the bottom of the stairs, which was definitely great. I'm going to be the first one to say this. I think this is when everything goes downhill.
Really?
This is when everything goes downhill, in my opinion.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind in terms of what is it that starts to make that decline?
Like the going back to the people that witnessed and experienced it in 1978, right? And then they're rallying up this crowd. Like, we need to end this. We need to come together right now and stop them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know? And then chasing that guy they assumed was Michael Myers. He was like 5'4".
Yeah.
Michael Myers is like, 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
A monster of a man. And I
Yeah.
think this short person, they pretty much thought Alberto was
Michael Myers. It's the stout, chubby guy just running around. Yeah. The project title for this one was called Mob Rules.
Was what?
Mob Rules.
Okay.
Which I feel like once I saw that, I was like, I kind of got an idea about what they're going for with this one. Which is, if you look at 2018 as Michael versus Laurie, this one feels like it's Michael versus Haddonfield. Right? They try to expand the scope.
Agree with that.
Of because it's easy to just make this a sequel and be like, all right, Laurie has to continue hunting Michael and whatever. It's just kind of a repeat of 2018. I like that Gordon Green was kind of like, no, let's expand the scope. Let's see how a town deals with a slasher. And I feel like you look at the history of 40 years of this guy that haunted this town, it makes sense that everyone will be kind of making pretty dumb, wild decisions because it's like fear as a contagion. They're kind of just starting to be like afraid of who's around the corner. Who is it going to be? Is it that person? Oh, that's Michael right there. Like they don't really like use their heads. Mm-hmm. And you see that lack of Laurie not being there as a leader to kind of make sure that these people are kept in check. Everyone is just kind of like fucking wildly just running around trying to figure out like chickens without their heads. Where's Michael? Let's go find him. Let's go kill him. Like, to me, it really captured that feeling of inducing panic in a town, especially that moment in the hospital when they're chasing the mental patient. Everyone's squeezed in that staircase, like they're all just running or like trying to fucking get to this guy. It was just, to me, it felt like it was well done in what it was trying to capture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know.
So you got this mob going over here, going over there, while Michael Myers is still going house to house and just continuing what he was doing from 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, remember, he's not just going anywhere, right? He's going home after that.
That's true.
So he does have a purpose in this one. He is like, even Ronnie, right? or whatever his name is, Lonnie. He was like, if you see all the people he's killing, it's a straight shoot for his house. So he like, there's a purpose for why he's going back. Of course, they don't really explain why necessarily he's going back. I think Hawkins makes a kind of theory like, oh, he just wants to be in that same spot where he killed his sister, and no one really knows what he's doing except for maybe he's looking at his reflection, whatever. So they continue to kind of add kind of mystique to his character, but I will say it is at this point where it's like you can't escape the theory that he's supernatural. David Gordon Green was like, oh, we're going to make sure that we don't go near that. Mm-hmm. He's not supernatural. He's just a really strong person who can kill. But it's like, you can't escape that now with kills. Like, they're really trying to lean into the idea, like, well, okay, maybe he is supernatural. It's like, no, he is supernatural. Let's just fucking own it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they necessarily, like, own that.
Again, they were throwing it on the wall, and they were hoping it's sick, and they were like, we fucked up.
Different writers.
Different writers coming in and then kind of putting their spin on it. And I think that kind of tainted it a little bit. Maybe the vision that they're going for. But
Are we latching onto an excuse to why it didn't execute as well compared to the 2018 film?
Well, I think I kind of set it up pretty well before we got into kills, right? Like it made a lot of money. They didn't have no real kind of trilogy that they were going for, right, Edgar? Like they were just kind of, let's just keep going and seeing where this goes.
Yeah.
You know?
I think by the way, I really appreciate your take on the mob mentality of this movie with not having Laurie Strode as like the leader of a group of people in the town kind of losing their mind. I think this movie starts to dilute this entire film and the film before it. To Josh's point, early in this movie, Laurie Strode's kind of taken out of it because she's in the hospital because of the way the first film ended. She sustained some injuries in the ending fight scene with Michael where he stabs her, and so she's in the hospital kind of in pain and laying there knowing that he's out there still. So we know that
she doesn't part. Actually. She doesn't.
Or she thinks he's... That's right. You're right. Hold on.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's
she
not
thinks
until
he's
like
dead.
halfway through where they tell her like, oh no, like he's still alive. Yeah. And then she's like tries to get up and fucking shoots herself with like a little shot of adrenaline or whatever. Like she wants to go back out there, but she's sidelined by her daughter because her daughter doesn't want to see her mom get killed, you know?
Well, they shift kind of to Anthony Michael Hall's character, who every time I feel like I see Anthony Michael Hall, he's a guy I'm like, yes, it's Anthony Michael Hall, just random character. But it almost feels like they kind of make him the lead early in the movie. And I just don't think he's a great lead.
No, I agree. He's not a great lead. I was telling Edgar this when I was rewatching Kills. There's a lot of moments where like when the car crashes early on in the film and the mental patient runs out and Tommy still thinks it's Michael and everyone's like just kind of figuring like what the fuck is going on. He talks to himself and he's like, I'm gonna find Michael. I'm gonna say when I see him, I'm gonna say night night, Michael. Like, dude, no one's taking you fucking seriously.
Yeah, it's fucking
his,
terrible.
Even his speech in the bar.
Yeah.
Would you fall behind that man? Would you?
Yes, Josh, I will.
Yeah. Man, I was like cringing. I don't even think the people in the bar were taking him serious.
But I think the thing that I really liked about Kills is that each person that we kind of get a glimpse into, Tommy, forget her name, is the other girl that was
also the babysitter,
the babysitter, and then Hawkins also, like each person feels the
Don't
nurse.
forget about the nurse.
Every person feels like they're personally responsible for not having put down Michael 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. Hawkins even tells Laurie like, "This isn't your fault. This is mine. I had a chance to fucking kill him and they didn't." Or the cop, the one that says like everyone's entitled to one good treat, like he was around 40 years ago. He feels like everyone feels like they're responsible for not having killed Michael 40 years ago, and I think that's the reason why they kind of take up arms and they're like, fuck it, we're putting him down once and for all. You know, I kind of like that aspect of it. Like each person feels like they're like they have a personal vendetta against Michael.
I really feel like going back to the supernatural element that you brought up.
Yeah,
it was an excuse to expand on that a little bit more.
How so?
So first off, when he escapes the house that was burning, Laurie's house,
you
have trained firemen that have all these tools What happened to them?
Well, they all got killed.
They all get killed.
Uh-huh.
They don't even fucking stand a chance. They all decide to go at Michael Myers one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Then you have this mob, right? A bunch of drunken regular Joes who what? Take him down. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. They beat the shit out of him. He's dead. Okay? Oh, wait. Actually, he feeds off of... What does Laurie say?
The more he kills, he transcends.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like that idea. That the more he kills, he transcends.
Edgar, talk to me about this sequel. Okay, we need to hear your perspective.
Eric, I'm getting the sense that you're a little upset that you wasted time watching these movies.
We're not. Let's save it. That's that question at the end.
I will. Well, I'll answer that for you. Not now, but I want to kind of get your perspective, Edgar. You chose this trilogy.
One of the greatest trilogies of all time.
You just said it was one of the greatest trilogies of all time. And I'll speak a little bit more. I want to hear what you say before I speak a little bit more on what I kind of thought about the second film.
To me, it feels like this one's underrated for me. It's one of my favorites. It's like it says in the title, he kills. It doesn't take it so seriously coming into it, right?
I think it does. I would argue and say it takes itself very serious.
Though, you know, even the opening scene, like I was saying, that's all like, even the mask was original. That was in the deep fake or AI with Dr. Loomis. That was like all prosthetics and everything.
Yeah, it was like an actual actor.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. I liked the how Albert said out. He literally just took what I was going to say. It's not Laurie Strode versus Michael. It's the town versus Michael, which was I like that new fresh take too, because you never see that in other in Scream. They should have done that too. He keeps coming back to fucking. Whatever that town he is in too.
Fucking terrible. About a terrible requel trilogy right there.
And
that was like just as good as Halloween 2018.
No,
get at it.
No.
The
Scream
the last
6
new one
was garbage.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No.
Keep going, Edgar. Keep going.
I'm just saying like it. Oh, never mind. I'm jumping off.
No, go ahead.
No, it's to me. I felt like they were trying to do something with this character, with the supernatural and all that. But like I said, like I'm gonna pull a line out of Josh's ass. Is student interference, studio interference.
I don't think there was any studio interference in this.
Mm-hmm. There was, I believe, I forgot what it was.
So I'm not just pulling out of my ass what you're saying. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it is a real thing.
All right, Al Gore. I'll believe you.
We're serious.
Right.
Yeah,
it's
whatever.
A real thing, motherfucker.
Cereal. No, but look, it does take a while to click for some people. Case in point, I feel like me and Edgar, we really
never
enjoyed
said
it.
We clicked. I don't.
I say it takes a while to click. It doesn't click with you.
We're not going to click,
but it's fine. I feel like with repeat viewings, I think it starts to click with people.
I've seen it a few times, but keep going, Alberto.
Okay, but that's your opinion. Fine, it didn't click with you, Josh. That's fine. You can go watch the Rob Zombie movies. That's okay. But it does take a while to click with people, and that is something that was kind of echoed that sentiment with the community of Halloween, right? With this one, is that it like was very polarizing.
So people like this movie.
Huh?
People actually like this movie.
Yeah.
Even the main man liked this one.
The main man?
Yeah, the
John
main man.
Carpenter?
No,
Yeah.
John Carpenter actually really appreciated Ends, which we'll get into in a bit too.
I can't wait to talk about Ends, but...
Well, let me... Okay.
John Carpenter didn't get paid in a hot minute. Let's just say that. I love you, John Carpenter, but you haven't got paid for a while.
So, Edgar and Alberto, I guess I'll speak to you guys with this. I really like your take on the mob mentality. I spoke about that earlier. I did like the throwback scenes where I kind of did feel like they captured the visual effect of the original film. It felt a little smoky, a little grainy. Mm-hmm. That I liked. That dynamic I liked. But this whole thing with Michael Anthony Hall and his speech at the bar, he grabs a wooden bat. Like, out of all the things you're going to grab, to go fight the most horrific killer of all time, you grab a wooden fucking bat that has like some saying on it.
What would you do? What would you do?
Probably, if I had a gun, probably a gun.
Well, we see what happens when you use a
but
gun on Michael.
so
That shit
guns
does
don't
not
work, so
fucking
let's grab a
stop
wooden
him,
bat.
so.
And then to Josh's point is shortly after this mob starts to kind of chase Michael around, they go to the hospital, and there's another inmate that escaped from the first film that they then bring over. So he's not some unknown character. You know he's out there kind of running around. He's like a smaller...
Alberto.
It's much smaller in stature.
That's right.
Josh is
That's
body
right.
shaming.
Yeah.
We're in this is a much smaller individual
we
who's
understand.
completely.
He's a smaller
I'm not tall.
individual.
Right,
PC body
they
shaming
think
over
that this is
here.
Michael, and he runs into the
okay,
hospital
can
where
I-
the whole fucking town is
can
like
I,
in this hospital. Hold on, he's in this hospital, starts running up the stairs, and Laurie Strode decides, oh, wait a minute, is that Michael? Wait, that's not Michael. I got to tell this fucking mob that it's not him. And then they go up to rescue the guy. And what does he do? He jumps out the window and fucking kills himself. What the fuck is going on?
To me personally, the way I interpreted that scene is that all those people in the hospital, you can kind of tell that they're probably weren't around 40 years ago. They're kind of younger, so they don't really know how Michael looks like. All the old heads that like have confronted Michael are either sidelined or they're out there trying to hunt him. So the people in this hospital, I feel like they weren't
Michael. What was his name?
Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall
But he
was
does
actually
make
there.
he does make a point to say like, oh, he's always wearing a mask. How do you know?
But he was leading that crowd, and he was
He
actually egging
I mean, look,
them on.
I will say he was leading that crowd for
And
sure.
It wasn't until Laurie, Laurie's daughter was like, "That's not him."
But the way I see that scene is that like Tommy. So there's a moment where he goes in and tells Laurie like, "You protected me all those years ago. I'm gonna go protect you." I feel like he felt this personal responsibility to go chase after, even if he. It was like even if it's a small percentage that it's fucking Michael, I have to do it because the person that I care about, who was my babysitter all these years ago, I have to fucking like almost it's gonna sound goofy, but like I gotta go defend her fucking honor, kind of, you know. So I feel like that was kind of where his mindset was.
So, 2018, you actually felt for the characters. You appreciated Laurie. The character development, to Eric's point, was very well done. In this one, yes, with those elements, you felt for them with what had happened in '78, but the deaths were not as impactful as the previous movies, unfortunately.
Like, are you talking about the kills from kills weren't as impactful as 2018?
Correct.
How does that make sense if you don't even like the kills?
They felt like they were
over the
rushing
top?
them.
They rushed it a lot when Anthony Michael C. or whatever his name was.
Anthony Michael Hall plays Tommy Doyle. He plays Tommy Doyle.
Tommy, whatever. When he died, I didn't feel anything for him, right? Like, they brought him down. He's dead. Okay. Laurie's daughter at the end dies. She thinks that Michael Myers is done. Okay, spoilers. And she decides to go to his room in the window and look out the window. His sister's room and looks out the window. I don't know why. Maybe she was finding peace. It was very random for me. And then she dies, and it wasn't really like. It was kind of silly to me. That scene was. You're gonna be brutal.
There was no climax to it.
There
was no climax to that.
Okay,
It was just
you're gonna brutal.
We're just gonna brutalize.
Throughout every kill and kills is like top notch, brutal. And then hers was like the most silliest.
So the way that I saw that, it's actually a callback to that flashback scene where the police officer is with Hawkins. And there's a moment when they're like searching the house, and the cop just like stops to look at the window because he probably also wants to be like, why the fuck did this guy, this slasher, this serial killer, why would he stand in this spot and look out this mirror or this window? I think that's what costed him his life, was just standing there. I think that was like a callback with what Karen does. She has this kind of curiosity to.
She's just a typical Karen.
Yeah. There's like this curiosity to see like what was it that compelled Michael to stand in that spot, and that's what ended up also costing her life. So I saw it as like a callback. I don't know what fucking. Did you guys watch these movies?
Right?
No. So we did watch the movies.
I feel like after 10 minutes, once you saw something that you didn't like, you just turned off your brain.
I didn't turn off my brain. I watched it.
Yeah.
Now, every once in a while, I look at my phone.
Well, see, that was your problem right
I
there.
watched it. When I think back, when I'm like thinking back to this movie, I think of like three parts in the movie. The flashback, which I thought they did well. The
Very well
mob
done.
chasing
Very
him
well
around,
done.
and then just the way the movie ended. One quick note: I did like that they did a little cameo or Easter egg appearance of the costumes from Halloween 3.
Yes.
They had
Yes.
those in there, the skeleton
Yeah.
costume, the witch, the green
the
witch.
playground.
Yep. And then the pumpkin. I think they did a little bit of it in the first during the trick-or-treating. Shout out to Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, no Michael Myers, whatever. I like how they did that. This was just like mindless, just we're going to run around in a mob. We're not really going to find him. They're finding their neighbors and the people in their community dead, and they're like, he killed Nancy. We gotta find him. Like, there's no remorse. There's no realistic, like...
Remember the bar scene when he's like,
emotions
he's
to
in
it.
the car.
Yeah, he's in the car.
He's in the car, guys.
Yeah, he's in the car.
Get out of there, Michael.
Yeah.
away.
Drives away.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's not Michael, but still,
Yeah,
we're like,
I know,
what the
it's like-
fuck is going on
No,
here?
like I'm not.
It's silly. It's
I
goofy.
feel like there's.
It's not serious. You can't take it seriously.
I'm not saying that it isn't goofy. There's definitely, like I said, there's definitely some moments that are goofy and a little bit over the top.
Did you get that in 2018? Question, real quick.
There were some moments, yeah. With,
Far less.
No, I'm not saying.
Far
I wouldn't say it was at the same level. Far less for sure. But you asked, did you get that with 2018? I did.
didn't feel that
yeah.
at all. I
Just
didn't feel
a
that at
little
all.
bit. You didn't fucking feel that with Sartain when he's like stabs fucking Hawkins and puts on the mask? Is that not fucking goofy to you? That was a goofy image. And like most people will
this
agree,
was-
like that was like the moment that was like, what the fuck? Like it either turned you off or you. Like,
This was chickens running around with their
dug into
heads
it.
cut off.
I did. That's not what I said in the beginning of the.
I know,
That's
but
what I
it
said.
dilutes it from being great.
I know.
We're
Chickens
diluting.
with their
We're
heads cut off
diluting
running
the
around.
great
It's pretty
franchise.
silly.
What did I tell you the project title of this was?
Mob rules.
Yeah, mob rules. I get
This
it.
was
You're
the-
making
this
the
was
case,
the-
you're
they
making
got
the case
the
that this is a great
theme of the
trilogy, like one of the greatest trilogies, and it is.
We haven't even gotten to ends yet, so
I know.
let's not.
We'll get there, but
Uh-huh.
this movie diluted because of just how unorganized it felt. Chickens running around with their head cut off. Shit that didn't make sense. It just was terrible.
Let's hear from Edgar first.
Look, like you guys point out, I agree with all that shit, because I'm a fan of all this too.
Yeah.
And I agree with what you guys are saying with your points. To me, I told Howard too, like Tommy Doyle was a useless fucking character.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't pay attention, he didn't use the fucking bat once. He just fucking carried it around.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, and then he shoots at the end, and then he
to me-
dies.
yeah, he dies.
And then you're just
I
like,
agree.
huh.
He did use
Yeah.
the bat because it broke.
But not on Michael. Though.
Yeah, Michael broke the fucking bat.
Yeah, he broke it on me. Yeah.
Well, but so the movie itself, right? The flashback scenes were really well done. Bringing up the original characters was well done. The mob idea I appreciated, you know. And don't get me wrong, this is not a terrible movie, but it's not a great movie as well. You know, like you didn't feel for the characters. The characters I felt like you were supposed to feel for.
Yeah.
You didn't feel for them. The
I
execution
wanna-
of Tommy's
I wanna,
character,
like-
you didn't feel for him.
I want to
right?
speak on that because I do agree not to just always just praise the film. Let me actually give some criticism where it's due. I do feel like there's a bit of, like they did rush a few moments there. Like, so like Ray, who is Karen's husband, gets killed in 2018. I don't feel that Karen was like grieving, right? Like she
I
was
agree
kind
with
of
that.
like what
He was
whatever.
forgotten.
Allison felt more like she was actually doing this for her father. Like there was a moment when they were in the car and Lonnie's telling Allison like, "Oh yeah, I did fucking peyote or whatever with your dad," and like it makes her tear up and it's like fucking.
I'll devil's
Yeah.
advocate, right? Is it fair to say that she was so jaded from her mom and so hell-bent on how her mom raised her that maybe that's why she was so calloused to not think about her husband?
No, that's a 100%. Yeah. So I agree, but there were definitely moments where I feel like oh man, like there was no impact coming from 2018 to Kills on some moments for sure.
Here's my problem with this movie is, and I praise you, and I think I think you've hit every.
Thank you
great
for praising
thing.
me, Josh. I appreciate that.
No, you've hit on every key things, right? To like what we were talking about, the flashbacks, the callback to the characters and bringing them back, the mobs, right? Unfortunately, there just was nothing behind this movie on top of it. The execution wasn't good. You didn't feel for it. The death at the end, I didn't even feel anything for Karen.
I mean, look, I'll agree. I actually didn't feel much
and
for
I felt
Karen
like
when
you
she died.
needed to have the most impact.
Yeah, no,
out of
100%, 100%. I think that there was moments that were like, oh man, like the ending with Karen dying. It was like, even though I knew it was getting like being set up that way, it wasn't. The payoff wasn't there.
No.
I definitely agree with that.
Absolutely
and also
not.
like. Hawkins, I feel like definitively should have died in 2018, and I feel like that was the writer's way of being like, shit, we got ourselves in a hole here. We have to make the trilogy. Hawkins, let's just bring him back. Let's just say he didn't fucking die. Like, well, what's his name? Allison's boyfriend goes and fucking saves him. Cameron like saves him, but like Hawkins got fucking stabbed. Like I saw him die. Like he should have died. You'll see a lot of that,
but
in
that's,
kills and ends. And I feel like
that's what I mean by like this. They made such a great movie, and then riding the coattails of the money, right? Because this movie was such a sleeper. My wife and I saw 2018 in the theater. The intro to the end, it was so good.
Yeah,
it made me fall in love with Halloween again, right? And then again, we're just gonna see what sticks.
No, that's definitely something that I agree with. Is that like they're throwing a lot of shit on the wall to see what sticks. For me though, personally, just me, I feel like a lot of it did land. Still, from 2018 to Kills, I feel like, all right, I'm still on board with what they're trying to, what the vision is, what they're trying to go for.
Kind of like Batman v Superman, right? You can see somebody's vision and you can appreciate what they do, but if they don't execute it good.
Oh, so you agree they don't execute it good?
That
topic is done now, so we're going to move on.
All right. Look,
but no, you have to execute it well. You have to deliver it well.
I feel like it was mostly executed well for me, for Kills. So
okay, the ending.
We're not here to talk about you, Alberto.
The ending.
Okay?
You praised me, so.
The ending of this. Because you guys talked about the ending. This mob, or what's left of the mob, led by Tommy Doyle, played by Anthony Michael Hall. Just to throw that out there.
Yeah.
They catch up to him in the street, and they surround him and pummel him to the ground.
Are you they pummeled Michael to the ground?
Pummel Michael to the ground brutally. To where you think he's dead, and then he gets up and slaughters everybody in an instant. I'm getting lost with that. Like
I feel like again,
just
the
lost.
reason
he's
to bring
never
in the supernatural.
Right, exactly. That is never really defined ever in a Halloween movie. We don't really know where it comes from. I think it's just a fan theory at this point.
I feel like it's the most defined here. I think the other timelines they didn't do a good job at he's just supernatural. That's it. They threw the supernatural card here.
The one credit I give the original is that they just left you guessing.
Oh no, yeah, they definitely left you guessing for sure.
You know,
Edgar, how'd you feel about the way that movie ended? Because
I still have some thoughts on the ending, but go ahead.
It feels like we've never seen
goofy ass shit.
We've never seen Michael. I don't think I've ever seen Michael take down like a crowd of people in like a violent fury like that. He's always been a slow, kind of methodical killer, and then he becomes like a brute. Yeah, brawn, like Bruce Lee. I'm going to take on... Yeah, because he's taken on like 20 adversaries at once, you know. That's never been Michael's... That's never been his thing. What did you think about that?
Oh, shit, that's a good question there.
Give me something good here.
Right?
Give me something good. This was 6 hours of film.
I want to take how Albert said it too, because I had that same thought too. When this trilogy came out, I had thought about like, why is he so brutal? Why is he so fast? And all these things. I just want to say, like Albert said, he was just a caged fucking animal all these years, and now that he's out, he's just has all this pent up like fucking rage, or we don't know his motives, right?
Well, who is he, Edgar? What does Dr. Loomis and Laurie Strode, all these people allude him as?
Just pure evil.
He's the fucking boogeyman.
In the boogeyman.
And no other film has managed to capture what it means for him to be the boogeyman except for Kills.
Well, what is boogeyman? What is
evil incarnate, man?
No.
Evil
What
incarnate.
is the definition of the boogeyman?
Do you want me to
It
look
lurks,
it up or what?
it watches, and then it hits you. That's the definition of what the boogeyman is, right?
Right. And what? And how does hold on? Because you're getting on a point I want to like extrapolate on. That's right. And what happens in that moment when people think Michael's dead? Say that definition again.
Like when he's dead?
No, what the definition of boogeyman is.
Yeah, he lurks. He stalks.
That's all things of like a silent killer, right?
Is he a silent killer in this one?
What does he do when he's dead? Everyone thinks he's dead. It's silent. It's a very quiet moment.
And then he comes
and then
back
he
to life.
takes the fucking knife out and like the boogeyman returns. The boogeyman incarnate. That's what that scene was for me. Was him putting on a like this was Gordon Green being like, all right, this is what people wanted to see Michael Myers be. Like, we're going to like actually show you the most violent version of Michael Myers in this film. I feel like that was pretty laid out plainly for this. I mean, it's called Halloween Kills. Like, they had to like.
Oh, that's the obvious.
You know, they had to
call
fucking
the 6 other ones Halloween Kills, and you're gonna get killing out of it.
Yeah, but this is what they were going for. Like, we're going to actually show you.
To Eric's point,
the most brutal version of Michael
that
Myers,
mob
and
scene
that was
to bring him down was just an excuse to make him supernatural. Because who's talking
that's
in the
not
background?
wrong. That's not. I never said it. I never said he was. That's the problem.
Now you've also taken every mystery, everything, the thing that you fear the most from the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Right. Just it's out the window.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I feel like
now
it
you've given him an
amplifies it.
origin. Now
I feel
you've
like
given
it
him
amplifies
something to fall back on, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem with a lot of comic books does this, movies do this. They run out of ideas, and that one gem, right? That one gem of what's the fuck is going to happen next, and you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it will never happen. They just give it to you, and you're just like, ugh. And I will tell you, 8 out of 10 times you are let down because of it. Think about that, guys.
Me personally, I didn't feel like I was let down. I think, like I said, I think they mostly executed this well for me. I think, like what Edgar was saying, like he has all this pent up rage. Like he made it to his house, right? He killed Little John and Big John, which we didn't even talk about. That was a great scene too.
That scene was even sillier too.
Where
you know
Big
why?
John grabs the little knife and Little John grabs the big. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. That was cool. I liked that moment. It was.
Don't
you have
forget,
to have some levity into it.
Don't forget that what's his face was in it from Mad TV.
Yeah.
Look at what I can do. Right. I don't know. I thought it was great. But anyways, going back to my original point, like he made it. He's at his house. He's staring at he's at the fucking window, and had Allison and Lonnie and fucking Cameron not go into that house, they would have been alive. Like they could have just left Michael alone. That really is the whole fucking point of all these things. They should have just left this thing alone, and they didn't.
So they were just poking the bear.
That's what I said about the podcasters, right? They were poking the fucking bear, and that's what Sartain did. He was poking the fucking bear, and that's, I feel like, and also like a lot of people were asking like, how is Laurie and Michael gonna like meet? How are they gonna clash off? The answer to that was Sartain. Like he wanted to fucking see these two reunited. It didn't have to happen. It didn't have to be that way, right?
Mm-hmm. No, like, it didn't. But it just didn't deliver like 2018. Unfortunately,
all right, well,
it just didn't deliver.
I think so far, 2018 is great. Kills is good. I think for me it was a good movie. Mm-hmm. What about you, Edgar?
I love it. That's just for what it is. I don't take it seriously. I love it what it is. It's a cheesy slasher 80s type of movie for me.
And you guys are saying
I'm mid on this one.
You're mid?
I'm mid. I'm not going to say that it's because there are very strong elements in it that I do appreciate.
Yeah.
When you look at the horror tropes that give horror a bad movie, that's what this movie starts to kind of give you a little bit, right? The cheese, the things like that, right? They started taking the seriousness out of Friday the 13th, right? And then
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, going back to Friday the 13th, right? You know, like how serious it was, and then it starts getting cheesier. You know, I would say Friday the 13th was one of the first horror films to start doing that, in my opinion. This kind of follows that trope. You know, it's such a. The first one was so grounded. It was such a serious movie. It kept you in. This one doesn't take itself serious, unfortunately. When it should have.
Well, I think it was a good film, and I mean we're going to move into.
We're not here to talk about what you think, Alberto.
Is that not what this whole podcast is about? Is that not what Show Us Your Basement is all about?
Eric?
Look,
are you in on it as well?
I'm not in on this one at all. But I will speak to what Edgar just said. He said that, it's that goofy 80s slasher movie, like the Slumber Party Massacre, just some dog shit that existed in the 80s. Halloween, I mean, look, cult classic maybe, but I'm just saying it doesn't live up to the title of Halloween, where it was this. It's in the pantheon of great slasher films, to where we at one point in time debated it between another pantheon and Scream. This isn't even in the same universe. This is UFL to NFL. Like, we're not talking about the same league here. This is where, this is your second chance, and if you're lucky, maybe you get back. But this was pretty clear. There was no going back. And I know we're getting ready to segue into the third, but
I just want to end it with this quote from John Carpenter.
Please do.
Declared it the ultimate slasher, intense, brutal, and faithful to the genre's heart.
I agree.
Way to glaze yourself there, Carpenter. Way to glaze yourself, buddy.
You know when he said that? When he saw that check.
When he saw that check hit the bank, he said, God, what a great film that was. This is what I'm talking about.
You guys wouldn't have done the same shit if you got a fucking same check.
I would have, yeah.
Yes,
Probably would have. I
Yes.
would have, but I didn't, so I'm going to speak my opinion.
Let's move on to ends. I've got the little synopsis here before we talk about it. Here we are. 4 years later, Michael has vanished. The story shifts focus to Corey Cunningham, a troubled young man whose encounter with evil spirals him into darkness. Laurie attempts to move on. What did we think of Ends? This is the most divisive of the trilogy. This is like the Spider-Man 3 of the Halloween David Gordon Green trilogy. I feel like you're ready to chomp on the bit here, Eric. What do you think?
I'm ready to chomp on the bit, and we are talking now. We're moving on to the third film, and the third film is brought to you by Show Us Your Basement. We have no sponsors. Show Us Your Basement.
Yeah, though this is Show Us Your Basement right out the gate.
Where to start with Halloween Ends? Edgar?
Yeah.
Yes. No, you want to... Oh, go ahead, Edgar, go ahead.
Oh, you want me?
I'm looking at you now.
Oh, okay. To this day, I still can't... all seriousness, I like the trilogy. I see it's the problems it has, especially the third one. To me, it always had to been Laurie and Michael to end it with. So when they added this new character, this new trope to the story, it was this one. I feel like what Josh said, Laurie got sidelined. I feel this one was sidelined with Michael and Laurie. It was more focused on Corey and Allison and how evil can, I guess, trying to send a message to how evil can infect a town, or a particular person. Even though I watched it, I still feel the same way when it first came out, because I dove into this fucking trilogy so fucking deeply. Like I read everything. I saw the director commentary, so I was hyped leading up to this. Like, like I told you, I felt like they were trying to tell a story with the house and him being supernatural and all these things. But I don't know what really happened, you know, like maybe studio interference, like Josh said, or like different writers, or
there's definitely
something going on, because it was leading up to something to me, the radio tower in the last one was supposed to be something big,
like a key point,
key point to this trilogy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I forgot to mention, like even the rewriting of all these movies. Right now, the 2018, Laurie Strode was the one who let out Michael.
Yeah, that's right. Originally was
that was the original story.
Mm-hmm.
The ends was supposed to be tied to the season of the witch. It was supposed to be at the end. They showed that the mask.
That was a huge fucking reach, man. The fact that it was the mask that made Michael supernatural. Is the same company.
They were leading up to the season of the witch.
I'm glad that they didn't go for that.
So there was all these ideas they were throwing at the fucking table to see, like what John's would see what sticks. But but to me,
they were.
Yeah, they were.
That was happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even though it had it's these tie-ins and trying to make it to connect to this, to that. To me, I don't know. I still feel this divisive. That's the word.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though. Simple question. Did you like this movie?
I was gonna ask you the same question.
Oh, I'm still the same way I felt. I don't know. I still don't know.
You don't know? Mm-mm. Let me give you a quote from John Carpenter on this movie. Okay? I like it. I like this last movie. It's very good. Jamie Lee Curtis is just sensational, and she's just as good of an actress now. I'm so proud of her.
That just sounds like he's supporting his lead role that has helped build this franchise to where it is now. She's like a Sigourney Weaver, Ellen Ripley type character to this franchise. That is, thank you for your work. I'm sorry it didn't work out. You're still great. Love you. That's what it sounds like to me.
So going back to 2018, what I loved about Laurie Strode is did any of you guys have Aliens vibes from it?
Oh, on Halloween Ends?
No, the first Halloween movie, 2018.
From
This
Alien?
One.
No.
Explain what made you...
Sigourney Weaver
I don't know. I haven't
in
thought about
Alien
it in
is
that
very
depth.
weak, vulnerable, kind of like how Jamie Lee Curtis was in the first Halloween movie. Mm-hmm. And then in Aliens, Sigourney Weaver was this badass. She wasn't fearful of them anymore. She's going to take them heads on. Jamie Lee Curtis. So I appreciate what they did with Jamie Lee Curtis in 2018. I actually appreciated her a little bit in Ends as well. But you guys didn't see that?
No.
That's an interesting perspective. It's not something that caught my attention right away.
I did listen to some commentary, and they did pull actually elements from Aliens.
What elements did they bring up?
Bringing out Jamie Lee Curtis as like this badass bitch, that's not fearful.
Okay. Well, in terms of that, I did definitely see that.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
But they pay homage to that. So her performance was just great.
In Ends or 2018?
I would say I appreciated her throughout the series.
Okay.
I really did, even in Ends.
Mm-hmm.
So you're decisive. But you still give this movie like a trilogy an A? Because I quote Edgar an hour ago, one of the most underrated and greatest trilogies of all time.
I like it because how Eric loves Alien, right? He picks up tiniest little things from Prometheus had little throwbacks to Alien and such like that. That's how I see this as for me. It's my Alien. I see the little throwbacks it has from the original to now.
So,
like the title screens. You guys didn't the original. It's like the pumpkin coming back to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Those little moments like that.
The last one had the title screen from Season of the Witch, the blue title screen.
Yeah.
Eric said, the kids with the skeleton and the witch.
So you like
all
this
these little things like that.
Yeah.
And bringing back for me like Jamie Lee Curtis and John Carpenter, all that. It's like that's why I love it. I'm not saying it has its faults, it's a bad thing.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I like that. I actually like,
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that and really like
that's
where it is for you.
Yeah, that's why I love it.
I want to know more about your guys' thoughts on Corey Cunningham in this movie.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning because we have to explain because this movie takes a very different turn, and
it does.
I appreciate you bringing in the Season of the Witch, and maybe that's where I know I said earlier we have no evidence of supernatural ability, like Michael Myers being supernatural.
Now I'm
thinking like, okay, well maybe that's what that movie is. Forgive me if you're a blowhard, diehard out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Corey Cunningham's character. What's going on here?
Okay.
With this character and how he ties into Michael Myers. Yeah. This is just, I was not expecting this. I didn't.
No. Look, I agree. I don't think this is the best out of the trilogy. I do think it's very, very flawed. And when I saw it in 2022, I was disappointed. I was like, this is it? Like, this is how you're fucking ending it? Like, I was upset, dude. I was upset. But now, like, revisiting it for this podcast, having had some distance from it, I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to get Michael in this film. Eric, you're someone who's coming into this pretty fresh, so you're watching it one after another, and you're like, what the fuck? Where's Michael? For me, I felt that way in 2022. 2 years, 3 years later, whatever, how long it's been, having had distance from it, I'm watching it with the lens of like, all right, let's see what they were trying to do. Let's see what the concept was, right? I read interviews during the time before the release of the film that they were like inspired by the events that were going on with the pandemic. I think that was a mistake. Gordon Green was like, oh, we're going to take some elements from COVID-19 and blah, 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 and it's going to take place 4 years after Kills.
I heard about that, yeah.
And I was like, fuck, why are you doing that? Like, I was kind of like, no. Like, keep up after Kills, right? Like, why the fuck are you doing that? Mm-hmm. But you see that influence in Ends. Everyone's isolated. Everybody's kind of like not celebrating holiday. They kind of are in 2019, the year after it all happens. But then
after it's like a.
But then they start to sort of like something starts to fester in Haddonfield, and you see it in that monologue with the voiceover with Laurie when she's like talking about how like Haddonfield used to be a peaceful town and blah blah blah, and then Michael came along and killed everybody. Where the fuck? And then you start to see like who's the kid that got killed by the gate? I forget what his name is.
Oh, the gay kid.
Right, like Cameron's friend, whatever. Her mom fucking hangs herself with the same fucking cape that her son wore because she couldn't deal with the grief of having lost her fucking son. Like, you see how like Michael Myers' presence, even though he's not there, how much has it affected Haddonfield? I like that setup. I like that, like, even after all that's been done, Michael's vanished and people still can't like get away from it, right?
What do you think of the intro?
I thought it was actually, I'm going to say controversial here. I think that's the strongest one out of all three.
I'm going to say it was distasteful.
Really? What
Talk about the intro, Josh.
So
this is the intro to Halloween Ends. Okay,
so
we're on the third film.
This kid's babysitter. Parents are going out to a party, and they're watching The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. I actually appreciated that right off the bat. And then the kid ends up being this total dick of a kid, and pretends like something happens to him and hides, and he's like screaming for help. Yeah. And Corey goes upstairs looking for him, and the kid locks him in the attic and starts provoking him. Corey starts to freak out, and he's trying to kick open the door.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he finally does. In the process of doing so, the door hits the kid in the face. The kid falls back, falls down the stairs, and he's fucking dead.
Did you notice that they were foreshadowing that he was going to fall down?
I didn't notice that. No.
There was a moment when Corey is being talked to his mother. The kid like throws a paper plane. He's like, it's a crash landing. That was a little bit of a callback to how he was going to fucking fall later in the film.
And then the parents just get home, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just being biased because I'm a parent. I didn't like it. Maybe that's a part of it.
That's fair.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know, but it's not fair to the movie. But leading up to this innocent individual that was his gateway of this evil presence. Of course, there's like other things that happened down the road.
No, keep going.
Just was so. I didn't like it. He didn't do anything evil.
I 100% agree.
He didn't do anything evil.
I don't. Yeah.
You know. To me, it was the director, the movie trying to give you this shock factor of the first Halloween movie, 2018's even, to Scream, some of the greatest intros of all time. And how are we going to get in that level?
It did have very Scream element to it with the child dying, the parents coming home. It was very jarring. I think Josh is right. It did feel a little distasteful, but it's not the movie's fault, right? Like, they're trying to create like a shock factor opening scene to get this going.
But it was forceful.
It was forced. And it didn't make a lot of sense because nobody knows watching this movie that this is the new face of evil.
Yeah,
the new boogeyman. We don't really know that, right?
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I'm excited to talk about ends because I do have some thoughts on it. And you were talking about Corey. What I noticed when I was watching that intro was every time Corey would like try to talk, the parents would like keep talking over him like he didn't fucking exist. Like they were just giving him like the pertinent information, like, hey, make sure he fucking doesn't watch scary movies, whatever, and blah blah blah. And he would be like, oh, actually, if you want to change your floors or whatever, like he was trying to like talk to them, make small talk. Like, they ignored him, like he was invisible. And I kind of like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's just me, but I found that kind of interesting. The other thing about the aspect of Corey is that like, did that incident that happened, was that a turning point, or was something always festering?
Well, they allude to like his parents, right?
His parents were
toxic parents as well. Absolutely. But that was, I would say, probably the push to him to go into that direction, right? Because now you have people scolding him,
ostracizing him.
He runs into the mother in the bar, and that obviously doesn't help and things like that. He to me was not as likable or as impactful as characters like Michael Myers, like Jason Voorhees.
100%.
Like Freddy Krueger.
I agree.
But we had no choice but to accept it.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that, like, the fact that, speaking again to how I feel like every script was written by someone different, they always had a set of different writers. It felt like whoever was writing primarily ends didn't want to write a slasher film and wanted to do some kind of like avant-garde fucking like art house bullshit, and they were like putting their spin on a slasher film. And I feel like, come on, man, like really, like like that to me was the real mistake, was allowing other people to put their hands in the pot and trying something different. I feel like it should have always been Gordon Green, Danny McBride, see your vision through the end. And I'll always like stand by that. And I think for this podcast, I'll accept it as the third of the trilogy. And I still think with every problem that it has, I think it pays off in the end. I still think it pays off in the end.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Is it playing the original?
Yeah, the original film has now kicked on our TV here. Look, Michael Myers gets beat up in a sewer pipe by this character.
Yeah.
This
Before
is
you jump
I'm
into
not,
that.
I know I sound like I'm jumping around. I'm kind of at a loss with this one, and that's why I'm saying it so abruptly and so like
And you have
jumping
every
ahead.
right to.
This is fucking crazy, dude.
Because before that happens, Corey gets pushed down by these kids off this bridge, right? And then there's this. He runs into this sewer pipe, and then he runs into Michael Myers. And he grabs
Michael
him by
Myers is the
neck.
one who pulled him in.
Yep.
Or yeah, that's right. He was knocked out, right? Yeah, thank you. And they look at each other's in the eyes, and like,
This is the moment. This is the moment that it either makes or breaks
Yeah,
it
it
for you.
does.
I agree.
Actually,
and it's
yeah.
like, okay, did Michael Myers like have sympathy because he looked into his soul and like
Yep.
saw that he was damaged,
He all of a sudden has sympathy for
right?
someone.
And then
I didn't read
did
it as
he-
sympathy, but keep going.
But or did he give him some type of power? Did he
That's
transfer
one
his
theory.
energy
Yeah, that's one
into
theory.
him?
Uh-huh.
You know, and then throughout the movie, he kills the homeless guy, and he gets some type of satisfaction out of it, right? And then he kills the cop, right? And then he's getting so much joy out of this that then he now he's like, you have something of mine, or I want something of yours. Like, I forget what he says.
Yeah.
This is Corey Cunningham talking to Michael.
So he's gaining all these confidence, and then he's also gaining strength.
Yeah,
And he takes down the shape.
We're
That easy?
transferring like Michael Myers and who he is to this completely different character who is not intimidating and who is not at all a killer, or at least like not in the early going. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't seem like he has that in him. I don't know if that's what they're trying to show.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is the evolution of how an innocent, kind of goofy. Everybody thinks he's just kind of walking all over him. He's kind of a dork.
Which I will say that it was very heavy-handed, right? Like trying to be like, hey man, he keeps getting bullied. I don't know, maybe he will fucking blow up and become a. That was definitely like a heavy-handed element. I will say that was one of the moments I was like, they took me out of it.
And
for
real
sure.
Right.
quick, remember, Michael Myers has been like living in a sewer for like fucking 4 years,
yeah.
and nobody thought that. Oh yeah, he got beat up in the street at the end of the second one, slaughtered everybody, and they're like, oh, he gets away, and they think he's gone.
So my
dead.
assumption was that because going back to kills, like every time he kills, he's rejuvenated. The homeless person does tell the Corey that he always has to take a body. He takes bodies to it. So he's, I guess, every once in a while killing someone
Yeah,
or a
which
homeless
kind of
person.
juices him up a little bit.
You know, and that's
yeah.
what he's
There
been
isn't really
feeding off of.
There's no suggestion that he's alive to Laurie Strode and her granddaughter.
I know.
No, yeah,
It's
that's
like, oh,
supposed to be the thing. That,
He
like,
got up
yeah.
and slaughtered everybody in the street, and they just were like, wait, there's all these dead bodies. Where's Michael? Like, what? They didn't like. It wasn't like the 1st film where they thought he was dead because he burned in a fire. That part makes sense.
Well, hold on.
You know?
guys.
I just don't
Same
understand.
fucking- the same fucking
we've got
scene. Just
we
grabs
Get
you
got
out.
distracted
nudity,
every once in a while, guys.
and people are getting excited because we got some boobies flashing, but
The people, I say person, is getting
Person.
excited. Yeah.
getting
Well,
aroused.
I
No,
like
like
women.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
What Eric said, I even came off like, what the fuck, like,
Yeah.
like I agree with what you said too. Like, it should be a continuation from Kills, not take this huge break.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I even thought it was
I agree.
so Laurie, I even told like Laurie thought that too. Like, he's dead. You stopped pursuing Michael.
Yeah, that's the-
after
that's the thing
training
that
all
really-
these years, and that's
yeah.
it. She killed your fucking daughter, dude.
But then
And you quit.
yes,
only-
thank you.
Yeah.
the only
Finally,
thing-
some
and-
sense.
And
Yeah.
they know that
Thank you,
happened
Edgar.
after the crowd fight,
Yeah.
right?
The-
They
the
know
only-
that happened. So he's a fucking alive.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can sort of surmise about why Laurie didn't like chase after Michael after that is that like, her daughter died, and then her husband died, and then Allison's boyfriend died, Tommy died. I feel like a lot of it
Oh,
was like, is it worth? Now I'm not saying that it was the right choice. I feel like the ending of Kills made it seem like she's about to fucking go to
Yeah.
the hospital. That's the only thing that I can think of is that like she has all this blood on her hands and she just didn't know how to like
Shit, okay.
But the
continue
thing
with
is
it, right?
you and I appreciate what you're doing, Alberto, but
I want to make it clear. I'm not trying to say that as a way to defend it. I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
But I genuinely believe,
jarring.
this is my own opinion, is when you start making excuses or like your own opinions on the movies to justify it, right? To be a good movie, like, God, man, it's just giving you ammunition to just say that it's just a fucking bad movie.
Yeah,
right?
No, but I like I said, I'm not saying that in a way to defend it. I feel like that's the only way I can think of to try to justify it. But it doesn't. Yeah. But ultimately, it doesn't make sense to me. I do agree. I do agree with that. I don't think it makes sense. Him living in the sewer, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe. Well, actually, I think he does move to the sewer because they demolished the fucking Myers house.
Oh yeah, they demolished.
That's right.
So
that's right.
But how he got to the fucking sewer, how no one pursued him and found him in between all that, I also don't.
Why does he stay in there too? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
So this movie evolves with Corey Cunningham's character in the opening scene accidentally killing a child while he's babysitting, and as the movie progresses, he's obviously a guy who gets picked on. People bully him around a little bit, and he discovers Michael in this pipe because he gets pushed off a bridge. He's getting bullied.
He's also introduced to Laurie's granddaughter.
Correct. He's introduced to Laurie's granddaughter, and they start to develop a relationship.
That's another thing I didn't like, was that like as soon as Corey got into the hospital, she had the fuck me eyes for him, and it's like that quick. You just jump onto fucking.
I took
Corey.
it as damage. Sees damage.
Yeah. That I guess that's true. But it was like so fast that she was just like.
And Laurie welcomed it. She was the one that was pushing for it.
I was telling Edgar this too. I was telling Edgar, like, why did Laurie do this? Like, introduced Corey to fucking Allison. There was a moment in the movie where Corey and Allison are visiting the house that he babysit and the kid died or whatever. Allison was like, when I saw you on the news and everything was happening, I felt like I was like pulled to you. Like someone was like putting you in my path, like putting you in my way. And I somehow, maybe again, this is my own headcanon, so I could be wrong, but the way that I saw that was like, in 2018, it was Sartain who put Michael in Laurie's way. In this one, I feel like it was Laurie who was like almost like Sartain who put Corey in Allison's path too.
I agree with that.
And I feel like that's kind of how I saw it. It was like Laurie, unknowingly, Laurie kind of did what Sartain did all those years ago and put Corey and Allison. Yeah, and because she's been so like not in that mode anymore, I don't think she recognized that Corey was going down a dark path until he killed a vagrant and went to go visit Allison. You can see Laurie looks at him and she's like, "Oh shit, there's something off about him," right? Yeah, that's when it starts to kind of turn back on.
Even like the scene with the father. The boy that father, he's like, he's driving down the street, he sees him, and he's like, I'm gonna
say hi or something.
He was the only one that was gonna reach out.
And then he was like, I couldn't because that was not the same kid.
Like that wasn't him.
That he saw. Can we talk about one scene that I think everybody questions or hates? Is not just the taking of the mask, beating up Michael Myers. The junkyard scene.
Badass. Thank you.
File's awesome, dude. I liked it.
No. When he's wearing the Michael Myers mask.
Yeah.
You think that scene was badass?
I kind of like the kills that happened in it.
Did you like the scene where he disappeared? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Well, like when they had the rifle trained on him and he
just disappears.
I feel like they had to play up the whole Michael element. Even if it was Corey, I feel like we still have to have the Michael Myers.
Michael did that?
He disappears. Yeah,
he would disappear like that.
And that actually
like
wasn't
that.
Hold on, that wasn't the first time that Corey disappeared or like appeared out of nowhere. Also, like there was that part where after he kills the vagrant and Laurie like goes out there and he
jumps out of nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like, I know it's gonna sound stupid, but I feel like that was probably the evil kind of festering him in like those supernatural shit.
So I quote Alberto, stupit.
When
it was very stupid. It was very stupid.
You said, I know this is going to sound stupid.
Oh, yeah.
It was...
Well, it sounds
stupid on film.
Okay, no, you're right. It was kind of stupid.
So I could justify when he jumped out of nowhere with Laurie, because it was kind of like a turnaround moment.
Yeah.
And that kind of like... That was the definition of Michael Myers, in my opinion, right? Is that, you know, you look at him and you glance at him and you see something, you turn around and you're like, he's gone, right? Yeah. This, he was literally right behind somebody. Like, did he duck and then move to the right? Yeah. Or did he literally disappear?
I feel like you're getting hung up on the things that, like, take you out of the film.
It's all about execution, and that was just that.
I think it was executed pretty well to me. Him having the mask on, him being like, he's like embodying Michael Myers. It goes back to the theory that, like, oh, what if it's the mask that gives him those supernatural
did you
abilities?
Think that was not? Do you think I'm festering over here?
No. This kind of reminds me of what I said about the first film, where they took a big gamble on revealing Michael's face and removing the mask from him.
Yeah.
Now he's all of a sudden this weak, decrepit person.
Mm-hmm. I think it tracks, though. Doesn't it track, too?
Right, but it doesn't make... There's no, like, okay, he's just living in this sewer pipe, and he gets beat up, but he doesn't kill this guy. Mm-hmm. For some reason, he decides,
the mask was so powerful. Why did the kid beat him up?
Forget the mask being powerful. Mm-hmm. He decides not to kill... Like, the one person out of every Halloween movie I've ever watched, he decides not to kill this one character. And not only that, but this guy keeps going back to... Corey keeps going back to this pipe and, like, luring people in there to have Michael, like, help him kill them. Yeah. Like, he's using Michael to, like, fuel his reasoning to be, like, a psycho. That's the only... but it was just so dumb. Like, I don't think the mask has anything to do with it. Like, it's just very bizarre. I didn't think that when Corey took on the role, put on the mask, put on the jumpsuit, I felt nothing. I felt nothing like, oh my God, we're going into the new era of Michael. I felt nothing. I felt like
what was even worse is he wore that clown mask.
Yeah, and then he was back and forth with the clown mask.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, callback.
Yeah, sure.
But that's okay. But that's the best way to do it. Is, well, we'll just do a quick callback and it'll look kind of cool. Like, no, it was ridiculous. You know, like,
and he was also getting stronger without the mask. So was it the mask? Was it not
I
the
don't
mask?
know. It doesn't even
was
matter.
It looking deeply into one another's eyes.
That's why I go back to what I was saying. Is like, that's the moment where it's either gonna make it for you or break it for you. And I feel like, again, I think this is why it's important to understand that, having had distance from it and watching it through those lens of, like, okay, I like I said, I know I'm not gonna get Michael as much. I know he's gonna be fucking old and whatever. Let me see what they were trying to do with Corey, and at least this time I could appreciate what it was they were trying to go for.
Did you appreciate it?
Yeah, I do.
So it kind of felt, again, maybe a flicker of Scream element where you have different killers, and they kind of establish that early and often in their saga.
Kind of, but I like, so with Scream, it's always just like, well, at least in the context of Scream, right? With the requels, it's like, oh, she was the daughter of Loomis.
It was the fans that saw it from a distance, and they wanted to live it, knowing that she was still alive.
Yeah, so that was that element of it. With Ends, I feel like it was, they were trying. I'm not saying that they executed it completely well, but I say, like, they're trying to see, like, what it would look like if evil spreads like an infection. What would happen? Because, like I said, right, they took inspiration from the pandemic. Like, what would happen if it did infect someone? Loomis says in the original 1978, like, Michael has the fucking blackest eyes. When you look into it, like, it's almost like staring into the abyss, right? It looks back at you. This is the moment where, like, when Corey looks into Michael's eyes, it's like the abyss staring back at him. He even says it to Laurie when she's fucking in that house with him, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, Corey tells her, like, you should have surrendered the first time you looked into his eyes.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like, you should have, because, like, you always know that you fear that he'll always come back for you. Like, you actually, like, wishing that he comes back. Like, that's what the comment that Corey made. I feel like that moment when, like, Michael fucking had him, Corey kind of just surrendered.
Okay.
At that moment, he was like, fuck it, like, my whole life is down the fucking toilet. And the abyss stared back at him. And again, right, going back to the whole supernatural element, it could have been a transference of power, maybe. And I feel like it either it takes you out of it or you buy into it. And this particular time,
You
Like
bought
I
into
bought
it.
I bought into it. I was like, all right, I feel like
Michael
that was
Myers
it.
is COVID.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah, you're right. Like fucking
Yeah.
Michael is COVID-19.
Yeah. This to
You know?
me felt like the story was burnt out. They knew it. They tried something different. That's fine. And it was so poorly done that this is a stain on John Carpenter's legacy.
Yeah, he's a little too far.
A stain. Yeah, this is a stain. This made me
That
think
over
like,
fucking what's that one about Mars or whatever the fuck is that movie called?
Ghosts and Mars.
Ghosts
Yeah, that's
of
a
Mars?
fucking stain on his legacy.
Damn,
this is
one,
a
I don't
stain
know.
I
on
had
his-
fun watching that though.
This is a stain on his
Vampires.
legacy because we're talking about Halloween. This is in the pantheon of titles. Ghosts
Dude,
of Mars is just a side
Eric,
project that sticks or doesn't.
I just want to say, like, this is far from the worst Halloween movie.
No, true.
This is far from. You have to agree, Josh. This is far from the worst.
What's the
You
worst?
can at least meet me that Halloween 2 is definitely the fucking Rob
The
Zombie's
original?
Halloween 2.
Oh,
No, Rob
I
Zombie.
did
Yeah,
not see
but
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
That movie was not a Halloween movie.
So
I don't
nothing
even
to
think
compare it to.
I don't even think Rob Zombie
Wait,
wanted
it's
it.
a
You can
Halloween
pick-
movie?
You can pick the other ones
Is
too. I feel
Halloween
like.
Ends, is it a Halloween movie?
Yeah.
It does take place on Halloween.
I know, but I'm just...
I know.
It doesn't feel like... it does not feel like it.
Alberto's point, it is not the worst Halloween movie. I actually
think
don't
so.
disagree with that. I can't compare it to Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's,
Well, you
unfortunately.
can, let's pick
But-
Resurrection. Resurrection's fucking worse. You have Busta Rhymes like karate kicking Michael
that was a
Myers.
great scene.
Yeah, but Resurrection is the one where they have like the film, the cameras in the
Yeah,
house.
that
They're
shit
doing
was
like,
fucking
that shit was
terrible.
dumb.
That was
but
dumb.
at least it was still Michael Myers running around killing
those
people.
movies didn't take... Again, that's the problem with this, right? Halloween eventually does not take itself serious. Right?
Yeah,
it knows it
I
takes
agree.
It what
That's
it
a
is,
good- that's a
and
good
then
point,
that's why
yeah.
they're so bad. It's we want this to be so bad that it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like, this isn't going to be bad. This is serious. This is going to be great. And it's like, that's like my problem with Kills, is that it took itself way too serious when it wasn't. This movie does the same thing, right? And it's a complete mess. And then what's even worse is, so this guy is getting stronger, and then obviously he's mad that he can't have Laurie's granddaughter, so he stabs himself in the neck, and he dies.
Can I make a jump in real quick?
Please.
I thought that was kind of weird too when I first saw it, but then I remembered, like, is Corey not doing the same thing to Laurie that what happened to him all those years ago with the babysitting thing? When the kid fell down and then the parents opened the door and they assumed that he killed. What he did, right? It was an accident, right?
He did.
But
right?
in this one, what did Corey do? He kills himself, knowing that Allison was going to come in and all the blame was going to be put on Laurie.
Sure.
It was like the cycle repeating. Is how I saw
was, right? And then as he was dressed up like Michael Myers and the mask was right next to him.
I will agree. Is that, like, how did Allison
and then
not see
she's
it?
like,
And,
why? And then she
Yeah.
leaves, and then she's like, I'm coming back.
yeah.
And then
So-
they throw Michael in for
and then
one
they throw
last
Michael
little
back in.
fight,
Yeah.
and it's just like
But
burnt out.
here's the thing too.
Burnt out.
He's still alive, guys.
Yeah.
He's still alive. He's like fighting with Michael Myers, and then Michael finally kills him, and
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. He stabs himself in the neck. You're dead. You're dead, right?
Yeah.
And
he's still alive.
but Michael finishes him off still somehow
Yeah.
because they had to do it because he technically now you could say Michael did kill him,
Yeah.
but it's just so like lame.
And then the best scene of the movie, I will say, before it leads up to him stabbing himself, was actually when Laurie was about to kill herself,
Yeah.
right? And then you see the splat. And then she opens the door and she's like, "You think I was gonna kill myself?"
That was a
and
great moment.
that was a great scene.
Like I 100%
Right?
agree.
It was a gem on top of garbage.
You saw how fast he fell when she shot him twice.
And then
I mean, he was like instantly
fell,
like
and he's
pretty
still
much dead.
alive, and then he stabs himself,
Hey,
and then
Billy
he's still
Loomis.
alive. And then here's my thing too, and this goes with Kills, is you have a mob of people who and firefighters who cannot go up against Michael Myers, right? He takes them all out. But Laurie Strode can take him out. And those scenes ruined that ending for me because now they're just like, we're giving everybody what they want. Laurie versus Michael Myers. Laurie gets the final blow.
Yeah.
The satisfaction.
You kind of have. Who else was going to be the one that killed Michael?
But the execution from like kills and all that stuff, the build up to this, where it just
the way I saw that is like those are firefighters, right? There was like shots of like their reactions. They were like, They were afraid. They're like, who the fuck is this person, right?
You can
Laurie
say she
has fought the boogeyman before.
You can say she was, but she's also one person. As someone as big and as strong as Michael Myers
he's decrepit at this point. He's old.
I don't know, man. He took some shots.
Why you keep flip-flopping?
He took some shots, man. He was old. How old was he in...
60.
How old was he in 2018?
2018, so he's 54. So then that means he was 60 and... no, at 55, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure when you turn 50, you don't feel like you're when you were in your 40s and 30s. Right?
Well, okay, but now you're like trying to put too much like...
No. What I'm saying is
you have to suspend your sense of belief here, at least a little bit.
Sure, yeah. I get that. But to me, the ending to Halloween Ends was just a fan service, right? And it was just unfortunately...
So it's okay for Edgar to give out all the callbacks and all the throwbacks to Halloween 3, and that's fine.
That's great, yeah.
But this fan service you have a problem with.
It was just... the build up.
This is how it ends. That's like subtle fan service that's in the background. It doesn't really take a precedent.
I wouldn't even say this is fan service. This is just the conclusion of the film.
Just give the people what they want. Laurie, kill Michael Myers.
I mean, it is.
Well, she did have to drop a refrigerator on.
Sure.
Haul that out and put it in use.
He couldn't take the firefighters. He couldn't take the mob.
Well, the firefighters were spraying them down with they were hosing him down, and that was he would have been blown back, like, you know.
Again, I feel like I'll
use your imagination, Eric. You'd like it more.
I know.
Use your imagination a little bit more, Eric. You'll appreciate it more.
I'll let that one go. I will let that.
I just want to echo. I feel like everything, like all the negatives that you guys are saying, are just things that took you out of the film. They're not really like. I don't feel like they're really critiques with what ends. Sure, with kills in 2018, I feel like you just couldn't buy into it.
I couldn't. It was just I couldn't. You're not wrong, man.
It did have the feeling of it was burnt out.
That's how I feel.
It felt burnt out, and they knew it.
Yeah.
And they tried to pivot, and it was executed poorly.
Well, I mean, I still think it ended it in a way that felt satisfactory.
I did appreciate the dragging his body, taking it to the junkyard.
The procession scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And because people just strap bodies to roofs and
all right, well, let's
parade them around town.
Eric lives in the reality.
I'm just saying.
I had to say that. I understand it. I get it. I'm not like gonna harp on it that much. I'm just taking a jab.
To me, if you have this force of evil that is just unstoppable, and then he's taken down by, he's not taken down by multiple like groups, right? I had just wished that. To me, Michael Myers doesn't fight crowds, right? He's in the background. He's killing. He's done that in every Halloween movie, right? And I get what you're saying about 2 kills because it was different, right? I respect that. But then, like, the build-up to just being killed by this woman, right? And yes, it's not just any woman; it's Laurie Strode, right?
You even said how they made her a badass character.
She is.
She's the Ellen
I'm just
Ripley
saying. I just wished. That's just what killed it for me, man. Is just that, fuck, man. I wouldn't fuck with a firefighter. These guys are prepared. They're training
like
every day.
Firefighter land. What do you think?
No, I'm just saying.
Where do you rank it, Josh? Let's rank it.
I want to give Edgar because I don't feel like I heard him talk that much at ends. What do you think?
Like with you guys? Yeah, I see it like when the trilogy ended for me. I see your critiques, your points, and I'm not pushing them aside. I agree with everything you guys said because I still feel the same way about ends. But to me, I sum up this trilogy as a comic book terms. I even told Albert, like you guys were satisfied how 2018 ended because you thought it ended because he's fucking gone, he's burnt, and that's what I thought too. And I see kills and ends as a what if type of comic situation. So if you enjoy 20, go ahead. It ends there for you if you want to. But kills and ends, it's like a what if situation. What if he survived the house burning down? What happens? Ends took this direction basically. That's how I see it. You know, you can. That's how I love this about this trilogy. Like you said, you can end it in 2018 and leave it as. That's your definitive ending to Michael Myers. He died and burned in that fucking house. And these other two is just more like a fucking what if like type of situation.
I can't do that, unfortunately. I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate that you guys, because you guys have said this in multiple podcasts in the past, like talking about Prometheus as well. I can't do that.
I'm curious why. Why?
Because they gave you 2 other movies. A continuation, right? That's like saying that, like if I were to say The Matrix is one of the worst trilogies of all time, right? And then you're like, oh no, you don't have to think of it as a trilogy. The Resurrection and Reloaded, they were fan services, right? Matrix, like, no, man, they gave you 2 and 3, unfortunately, right? You know? That's just how it is. Now, if they rebooted it down the road, you know, that's one thing. Also, like these movies came back to back with one another, right? What did Ends came out a year later?
Nah, 2 years.
2 years later, and then Ends came out.
Kills came out in 2021.
4 months later, or something like that, right?
Yeah, Kills came out in 2021, and then Ends came out a year after.
Like that's just how my brain works with this stuff, right? It's like reading a comic book. Right? And then you're just like, you know, Secret Wars doesn't exist because I didn't like it. To me, I don't know. It's just, I don't know if I'm explaining it well enough or not.
So I'm going to hold you on to that. So you're saying if the next Doom movie comes out, it's garbage. You're going to say it's not?
Yeah. No, if it's bad, I will not say that it is a great trilogy, unfortunately. And it has to be a trilogy.
All right.
And I'll be honest with you, I watched a few episodes of the series, which is in line with the Dune movies, and it's not that good.
Damn.
And I'm disappointed.
Damn.
That this bigger world is not as good as or executed as well as I thought it would be.
Gentlemen, I think it's time to rank the Halloween 2018.
Well, let's do our thoughts of this. Do we like it? Do we dislike it?
Of Ends?
Of Ends.
Edgar, you say you don't even know.
Mid, because I still.
So you're mid?
Yeah, on the Ends.
Basement. I already know that.
Oh, it's basement.
You said you're basement.
Ends third movie.
I do want to throw in there, and I didn't remember this movie. It was a very forgettable movie, and I know I was like meh when I first saw it.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to be open-minded, and I just hated this movie even more.
So it's basement for you too?
It's bad. Yeah, it's a bad movie.
Damn, I might be the only one to say this is good.
You're good.
I'm ungood.
Okay.
If I could like even go further, I'd be like, this is like low good, and then Kills would be like high good.
So B-.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now it's time to. Well, I mean, I know Eric is. You're. What are you with as a whole with for the trilogy?
Looking at the trilogy, stepping back, and I like to have perspective and hearing it from everybody in the room, especially from you and Edgar's side. I do think you guys are very well prepared when you come in to talk about a movie, whether you're defending it or speaking against it or either in the middle.
Yeah.
I think you guys capture a lot of really good points that stand out to you, and you guys always bring up some little thing that I guess I'd never thought of originally, just little tidbits of the story and like how you view it and how it builds up, and I actually really appreciate it because it does help me kind of understand it a little bit better. Sometimes I'm someone that has to watch things a couple times to really soak it in, so that really helped me with perspective and understand like where you guys are coming from. when I look at the trilogy as a whole, it's in the basement for me, and a lot of it comes from the third. I thought the second movie was just. It was goofy. You guys said it was goofy.
Well, Edgar said it was goofy.
Edgar said it was goofy.
Moments.
It felt goofy. It definitely did not feel like a Halloween movie. The third one, I said it once earlier, I'll say it again. You could see the burnout, trying to pivot. It just didn't connect. And I was disappointed with the way they kind of went out with Michael Myers. It was not, there was no glory in his death and his character. It was almost like forgotten. He was just this empty shell of himself, and it was just disappointing. And I will probably never watch the trilogy again. I did think the first movie was probably more of like mid to good, and then after that, I couldn't find a reason to bring myself to think it was any good to recommend people watch it. And I don't have anything to compare it to with the second Rob Zombie Halloween film, so I can't go there as far as saying that Halloween Ends is the worst of them. But I will say that Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is definitely out of the doghouse, if you want to go that far, because I think the casual fan would not understand. Like they would watch it and be like, what's happening, you know? So again, it just didn't connect for me, and so I have it in the basement, and I was disappointed because I'm a fan of Halloween, love Halloween, and it was just disappointing for me. So
sucks to hear, but that's your opinion, there. That's fine. Eddie, what do you think? You're the one who brought us into this with this episode.
Yeah, thanks.
Where do you rank the Halloween trilogy, the 2018 trilogy?
I said it from the earlier in the podcast. I love where it was leading up to until it ends. I love how gritty it was in the first one. It took a real take on it. I just everything it was trying to do in the fan service and everything. Yeah. That's why I appreciate it more. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I went a deep dive with all this, like director's commentary and all that shit. And to me, it's greatest of all time for me. Even though it has its flaws and all that stuff, I love for what it is.
So it shows your greatness.
Mm-hmm.
So you did like the last one?
No, I even said I didn't like it.
But even in spite of all that, you're still
all that, yeah.
So you're really putting a lot of its success on that first film.
And kills
a little bit, yeah, but probably more so the first one.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Josh, what are your...
As a whole, as a trilogy, first I'll start off with 2018. I will say 2018 was Show Us Your Greatness. It is a great movie. Mm-hmm. Great continuation, especially from the original. As a whole, Show Us Your Basement.
God damn, really?
Yeah. It just goes downhill after 2018. Mm-hmm. You know, I was okay with, Halloween Kills. I wish certain things were executed better. I wish they had done certain things a little bit different. Obviously that's nitpicking and that's not fair. I can't do that with 2018 because it was just so well done. And then Ends was just utter garbage, in my opinion. Uh-huh. And the fact that I can't rank this trilogy great. Mm-hmm. It's like, to me, it's one big movie and it just didn't end well. Kicked you in the nuts, right? Mm-hmm. Like, have you ever watched a movie where it was the first hour and a half, 2 hours, however long it was so good, and then it gave you the worst ending ever? and you just are like, I fucking hate this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this trilogy did to me.
Yeah. Well, I have to. At the start of before we recorded this, when we were doing all the watching the films, I was at Goodness, and for the longest time, I mean, up to recording this, I maintained that it was Show Us Your Goodness. But I do have to say, I think after watching the ends, appreciating it for what it was trying to do, because I know that's the most divisive one out of the trilogy. And maybe I'm calling it a little too early because it did just come out like 3 years ago. Give it time, I think ends might end up being like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I feel like it's going to be one of those movies that in time will grow a cult following. People will probably watch it and say that it's like may have nothing to do with the other Halloween movies in their mind, but I think it's going to end up being an underrated film. But maybe I just see it now before everyone else does, and I'm gonna go greatness with this one. Now I'll say this, like what Rick Rubin said, the best art divides people. Half the people love it, half the people hate it. If everyone likes it, it's mediocre. And I think that this is a perfect example of this trilogy dividing people. Half of the people hated it, half of the people loved it. I think that's the best kind of art. So, to me, it's Show Us Your Greatness. So,
what the fuck? You throw me? Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it's Show Me Your Greatness. That's where I would personally rank it. So, but this is very enlightening conversation. I did not think you guys would hate it as much as you did. I appreciate your guys' viewpoints. It was intriguing. It was interesting. Edgar, you have any final thoughts to cap this off? You're the one who started it. Fucking, you're the one who ends it.
It's a quote from John Carpenter. Long live horror.
Long live horror. Right. Josh, anything?
I'd rather watch Rob Zombie's Halloween.
I don't think you even believe that.
Go Birds.
Well, go Birds. Enough said.